Welcome to the App or Not to App podcast with the App Man, Jeremy Callahan, where we talk about why apps are not a luxury item and are essential to your business success. I've been in the mobile industry for over 20 years, and the question I always get is to app or not to app. Definitely, you must app. Mobile apps can help your business reduce costs, increase leads, and reduce manpower. An app is not a luxury item, it's a necessity. So let's get started making you money. Okay, welcome to today's podcast. I'm excited to have you here today. I got a good topic. It's something that's going to help you. It's something that everybody asks me all the time. And that is, how should I start a podcast? Why should I start a podcast? What can I expect? When I started my podcast about a year ago, not a lot of things happened right away. Like people didn't start watching them and stuff. But then more and more people started seeing it. And the number one question I see from friends, from business colleagues, and other people in the industry is, how do you do it? What can I expect? And so that's what this podcast is about today. I'm going to cover some topics. I'll just go through them real quick. I'm going to talk about the reasons to start, what you should expect, how to record them. I'm going to talk about where to post them, and then probably some issues you'll have with it and how to overcome those issues. And that's about it. So I'm going to get right into it. Some of the reasons that you should start and consider starting is to show your expertise. One of the main things that I've discovered is that people didn't really know what I do. I'm a mobile app developer. I'm a web developer. I've got a lot of successful things that I've done in my life business-wise, but people just simply don't know about it. You think people looked at your LinkedIn profile, and I'm talking about your friends and your family here. People generally don't know what you do. Think about some of your friends, or actually think of some of your family members, and do you even know what they do for work? And so that's kind of one of the reasons is getting out there, getting notoriety, getting people to think about you. If somebody needs a mobile app, I want them to think about me. And that's one of the things that this podcast has provided to me. And so that's a very important thing. The other reasons, you get to meet new people, especially if you're going to do interviews. It's good for networking. Gets attention on what you do, again, in your business. And then the other one is you get reusable content. So you actually have something that people can see. You can post. Right now, you may be listening to this on iTunes, you may be watching it on YouTube, you may be watching it on my website, but one of the things I'm going to do when it's over is I'm going to post it on LinkedIn. I'm going to post it on my Facebook page. And then maybe 3 months from now, I might repost this same podcast so that people know about it. So I can reuse this content. So one of the things you're going to really want to do or see value in is creating content and having reusable content and having topics that people can see. Let me talk about some expectations that you might have with it. The first thing I'm going to tell you about an expectation is like you got to check your ego. You really do, because everybody thinks, well, what if nobody listens? Why should I go to all the trouble to create something if no one's even going to listen to it? I'm gonna tell you straight up, no one's gonna listen to it. It's a harsh reality, but actually, people will listen to it. And the thing is, if one person listens to it and finds value in it, or contacts you through it, then it was worth it. One lead. This podcast I'm doing today, it took me about 15 minutes to come up with the script. Obviously, I've been doing the podcast, so I know how to, all the problems, but it came about 15 minutes to come up with the script. I'm going to record it, however long it takes me to record it, edit it. It won't take me long to edit. I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes, and then posting it. And that's it. It's done. So maybe an hour, when I was getting started at this, maybe it was 2 hours of my time to write one, record one, and get it posted. And if I got one lead out of that, that was, that's a win for me. I'll take that any day of the week. So you got to check your ego. You really do. And again, if one person watches it, then you win. The other thing about it is you get this content, right? I'll give you a story. So I was, a friend had put me on a job, and we were kind of like bidding it together. And I gave him the final price. The friend was doing the other side of it, the back end development, and I was going to do the mobile app. And when I gave the price, the guy kind of like gasped, like when we got to the final slide of what the price was and the amount of effort. And the guy kind of gasped, and and my buddy actually bailed me out on the call. He goes, "Well, Jeremy has a video, a podcast about how to estimate the cost of doing an app. You should watch that." And it was, it was perfect because, yeah, I had done a podcast about how to estimate how much it costs to build a mobile app. If you want to see it, it's on my YouTube. It's on one of the podcasts as well. And the client actually went and watched the video, and he understood a lot more about like what all the things went into it. Because sometimes when you're on a bid and you're just doing it, or a proposal like I was doing, they just see kind of, oh, here's the things that need to be done, and then a big price at the end. So this actually broke down all the steps that actually go into an estimate, how we do it. And really, that video broke down a lot more of what I do. So it was very helpful. So that's some of the like expectations you need to have. Like, how can you get your message out to people, and what can you expect back? And for this, for me, it's obviously about business and running a business and starting a business and getting new clients. I'm not going to say that it's not, but I'm also providing information. I'm showing you my expertise. It might help me get, a speaking gig in an event, or it might help me close a client. So there's a lot of like small, minute things that come of it that you don't really think about, as opposed to, I'm just trying to get out there so people know me and I want some attention. Well, I do, for sure. I want it for my business. Okay, cool. So let's talk about how to record and kind of the nuts and bolts of things. And this is mainly what people really want to know when they ask me, how can I start a podcast? This is the one thing, like, how do you record it? And then we'll kind of get into some of the, other things about you on video. You recording yourself on video. So the first thing on the recording that I always do is come up with some sort of topic. We'll get into that a little later as well, but come up with a topic, and then I just script a podcast, okay? And for me, you may be a little different than me, but for me, scripting just basically, like for instance, I'll either put a screenshot of this on the video, or I'll link to it in the comments below on YouTube so you can see what the script looks like. But it's very basic. It's a topic, and then it's some categories. Like right now, this category is how to record. And then on the next column over, it's script a podcast, video recording, computer, iPhone. And then I know when I say script the podcast that I'm just going to talk about how to make a script, right? And then that's how we do it. So I'm just going through the script right now. It's really loose. It's more just topics, and then I talk about them. And that's kind of the nice thing about the podcast, is there's a flowiness, a looseness. You don't want to be strict and rigid. You just want to give yourself a topic and talk about it. So the next thing is how do you video record it? So really simple. Well, let me actually talk about video recording. Maybe you don't like recording yourself. Maybe you don't like the way you look, the way you sound, all of that good stuff. Nobody does. I didn't. I'm okay with it now, but I didn't for a very long period of time. So look, your phone is a camera, right? All you have to, like right now, for instance, I am recording this on my MacBook. My MacBook has QuickTime open, and I'm recording it. That's it. I used to record it on my phone, and I used to use this little tripod right here, like this little tripod that I got for like $20 on Amazon. And I would just record it on my phone, import it into my computer, and then I'd edit it. But you can this is so much easier because it's on my computer right now. So I just record it on my MacBook. If you have a PC, I'm sure you can record it on your PC, and you record it and save the video. And then if you're going to do like an interview, like you're going to interview another person. There's a lot of things you can use. One of the ones I usually use is called Zoom, Z-O-O-M, Zoom Meeting. And that has a recording feature. And it's actually really nice because you and I could have a back and forth conversation. And when I'm speaking, it records me, a video records me. And when you're speaking, a video records you. So don't have to do a lot of editing after the fact. It's just kind of there and ready to go and done for you. And if you are doing an interview, it's a little different. Basically, you're obviously going to have questions for the person, but the general format is give the person a really good intro. Actually, let me back up. What I usually do on an interview podcast is I have about 5 minutes at the beginning, so the person jumps on, and I just usually have like a little light brevity conversation with them. And then I say, okay, I'm going to give you a good intro, right into the questions, and we'll finish, and then we're done. I'll keep the recording going, and if there's anything you want me to edit out, just tell me. If you need something edited out after the fact, just tell me. And that's pretty much it. And then you just do it. And that's the Zoom meeting will do that for you. That's kind of the general thing. If you can get in contact with me, if you want more in-depth information, questions, concerns about how to do an interview, I can give you some thoughts on that as well, but we'll not cover that today. The next thing is you need a microphone. If you look right here on my chest, I got this little like lapel microphone. It actually has a cord attached to it. I got this thing on Amazon for like probably $20. You could get a wireless one. You can get one of those big fancy ones if that's your character. You can get lights. You can get a green screen. They actually have like green screen light microphone kits on Amazon that you can get for like $200. So if you're, trying to do something high tech, I mean, right now I got my MacBook. It's sitting on a dictionary, which is sitting on a cat tree. My cat goes on a tree, like a little scratcher thing. That's what this is on right now, and it's just facing my desk, which is in my bedroom. So nothing overly fancy here. Home office, computer. If you want to get lights and you want to get all fancy and do that and look all pro, go for it. I've done this in offices, this kind of same setup. I can do this in an office. I can do it in a lobby of a building. I've done it in a lot of different places, and I've kind of done the same setup I used to do Facebook Live as well. So really easy setup. Again, a tripod if you need it. And then what's next? When you turn your computer on and you're doing this and you're recording, exit out of your email, exit out of your text messages so like things don't pop up and distract you as you're talking. Always a good one. You need to next thing you'll need to do is you need to record a solid intro. And an intro can be done, it's usually just your voice. You'll see if you're listening to this podcast right now, you heard my intro, right? It's just my voice. And then there's some royalty-free music sites out there. Just search royalty-free music and find a cool song. And then all you have to do is mix, whatever you're going to say in your voice. Welcome to the podcast. This is Jeremy. Hey, nice radio voice, huh? Do that, and then again, and this will kind of go into the next one as well is editing. So like if you're thinking, I know what you're thinking. Hey Jeremy, I have no technical skill. That's cool, man. No problem. There is a site called Fiverr, and it is spelled F-I-V, V as in Victor, R-R, F-I-V-R-R, Fiverr. Go onto Fiverr, and you can find somebody for like $5, $20 to take 2 audio files. You say, hey, I like this royalty-free song. Here's my intro. Combine them together. Your intro should be like 20 seconds at the most. Just what the podcast is about, or however you want to do it. And then so you have that intro file, and it's just an audio file, right? And then what I do, and again, you could hire somebody on Fiverr to do this for you. So you just take the video. Let's say you cannot edit. You don't know how to edit a video. Well, I'll give you some advice. My advice would be, if you're on a PC, get some sort of editing software. If you're on a MacBook, which I am on, use iMovie. It is really easy. I'm going to record this. Right now this is recording on QuickTime. I'm going to save it at the end to like a movie file. All I have to do is drag that file into iMovie, and then I have this entire podcast there. If I need to like edit something, maybe I need to get rid of a minute because a fire truck went by or something, I can just clip that off and get rid of it. I can add the intro really quick. I can add the outro really quick. For me, the outro is just like, I think it's just my name and my website, so people can see it on the video if they're listening. And so yeah, you add the intro, edit anything in the middle, add the outro, and you export it. Get in touch with me if you want me to show you how to do that. I'm telling you, it's super easy. Anybody, like if you can open up image editing software and crop a photo, you can crop a video. It's very easy to do. In fact, you could probably do it on your phone. There's probably like some sort of app out there that would do that. I'm not aware of one. I am the app man, so I should probably know something like that. But anyways, and that's kind of editing, at a very high level. Or you could just take this video here that I'm filming, and you could just go through it and say you need to get rid of like a minute section of it. You can just say at 12 minutes and 32 seconds, cut out until 13 minutes and 15 seconds. And then you put that on Fiverr and you say, I need this video edited like this. I need you to cut this out. I need you to add the intro. I need you to add the outro and send me a file back. No problem. You can find somebody to do that. They can do that for you in one day, probably for under $20. So you don't even need to deal with the editing. But I do it. It's so easy. I mean, like this thing I'm filming right now, how far are we into this podcast? However long we are into it. 16 minutes. I better pick it up. So, we're 16 minutes into this. I don't need to edit anything out at this point in time. I'm just talking. I'm free flowing. And that's kind of part of it. You'll get more relaxed and be able to do it. At the beginning, you will not. I'll get into that in a little bit. Let's talk about where to post it, okay? So after you have your video file, it's edited, you have the front and the back on it, the intro, the outro rather. It's really up to you. You could also just audio record it if you really hate yourself on video that much. You could just audio record it. If you do audio recording, you can post it to iTunes. You can post it to a site called Stitcher, which is another popular blog platform, and any other really blog platform for that matter. And then if you do a video like I do, you can put it onto YouTube. So create a YouTube channel, create a playlist for podcast, give it a title, give it a description, and then throw it into YouTube. And then once it's on YouTube, you can take that same video file, you can put it on your website. If you have a blog, like you can put it in your personal blog. So just more content for your blog. You might have written blogs, you might have some audio blogs, you might have some video blogs, just more content, right? And again, we talked about that earlier. And then so once it's on YouTube, it's on iTunes, it's on Stitcher and all these other ones. Here's one of the reasons I like video, is because I can do this video, I can use on YouTube, I can use it on iTunes, I can use it on Stitcher, I can use it on my blog. So I use one video in 4 places. And a little bit goes a long way, right? Saves me a lot of time. If I have an audio file, it's not as good to like post on my blog. I mean, I can post it, but it doesn't come with a photo. Like this, like YouTube goes to that nice, it gives you like a thumbnail, so YouTube takes care of a lot of it. That's why I'm a big proponent of putting it on video and putting it on YouTube. And then once you have that, once you have, your YouTube video, now you can share it on all of your social channels. LinkedIn, this is going on LinkedIn. This is going on Facebook. This is going on my business page on Facebook. It'll link to Twitter. You could use something called Medium. Medium is like a blog site. It's really easy to create a blog. You don't need to create a website. You just put whatever you're going to write on Medium and boom, you have a blog. So you could put this video also on Medium blog. So if you think about it, when somebody searches my name, Jeremy Callahan, and if this podcast comes up, it could potentially come up on LinkedIn, right? And LinkedIn, let me talk about that. It has a feed. The feed on LinkedIn looks a lot like Facebook, so you can post it there. The other thing you can do is you can write blogs on LinkedIn. So you write a blog on LinkedIn, put the video in the blog. So that's going to get picked up by search engines. It's in the feed, so anybody that's going through the feed looking for a job could potentially see this podcast. Okay, it's on Facebook. That's a feed. My Facebook business page is a feed. If I put it on my blog, that's a blog. That's another place that Google can pick me up for a search engine. And then if I go on Medium, that's another place that Google can pick me up, my content, my topic, so people can just find me. I'm a mobile app developer. I'm blogging about starting a podcast, right? So somebody watches it and they go, and then they're at a party a week later and somebody goes, I want to build an app. And they go, I just saw a guy talking about how to start a podcast. That's an app developer. His name is Jeremy Callahan. See, this is how the world works these days. Okay, so we're going to wrap up pretty quick here. Some of the issues you're going to probably face and how to overcome them, right? Let me give you some of the issues, because these are some of the things that really hold people back. First of all, start with 4 episodes. Actually, let me back up. First of all, come up with 4 topics, script for 4 topics, and then film yourself. And then watch it. You don't need to post it, just watch it. And then maybe film it again, because you're going to suck. You literally suck. As nice as I can say it. I sucked. I was no good. I was nervous. I talked too fast. I couldn't relax. I couldn't... Talking too fast, not being able to relax, it's easy enough to say, well, slow down, relax, right? But it's you're not being yourself. You're not conveying your personality. If I'm talking really fast and I'm nervous, I don't want to convey a nervous personality because I'm not a nervous person. And you aren't either, right? So that's why you need to practice a little bit. So a little bit, again, in the beginning, you got to do some work, right? It's going to take you a little longer to script these things. It's going to take you a little longer to film them. You got to watch them. You got to practice them a little. So you might be looking at 20, 30 hours. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass here. You're looking at about 20 or 30 hours of practice before, I'd say 20 or 30 hours to get your first 4. And the reason I say 4 is because you want to launch with 1 and you want to have 2 more right behind it. And then 3 or 4, right? So when you launch, it looks like, you launched and then you have 2 more behind it. So you don't have to worry about filming one every week, right? The next issue you will likely face is, and this will be up front, is it's like going to the gym, like recording. And it's not the recording that I'm saying is like going to the gym. It's the consistency of it. Look, you got to put one of these out every week. You can't put one out, okay, maybe every month if you're going to be lazy, right? You should be putting one out every week, or you should say, I'm going to put out 40 this year, or I'm going to put out 20 this year. Just say 20. So every 2 weeks, basically, you're going to do one of these. I used to do them 2 at a time, 3 at a time sometimes. So I would just film, I would take one Saturday, I'd go into the office, and I'd just rip through 3 or 4 of these, and then, edit them. On Wednesday when I release it, I would edit one, then the following Wednesday, edit another, or you could do it all at once. So these are some things. Another issue, finding topics. It gets hard. You might run out of material to talk about. One of the hacks I'll give you for that is, and this is a general hack for podcasting overall, is find somebody that has a podcast either similar to you or that you just like and emulate it. So if you really like, interviews, who's somebody that does a podcast that you really love that does a good interview? Go on YouTube, find some people. You can emulate their intro, just whatever you want. I say make it yours. So it's your personality and it's unique to you. But you should find somebody that you want to kind of do what they're doing, and then maybe do it better, right? And then, like I said, practice, watch yourself, and just get better at it. Stay with it. Have zero ego about it. Don't worry if people are going to watch it. If you hate yourself on video, just work at it. Just try it. Go to audio if you have to. Do a written one if you want to. But I mean, this will produce something for you. That I can guarantee you. People will talk to you. They'll want to say, wow, you're starting a podcast. How is it? You know, what, because everybody wants to start one. And everybody's got the same problem, man. They're afraid. They're flipping afraid to talk in front of a camera. It's not that they don't have something to say. Everybody's got plenty of things to say, but everybody's just a little bit afraid to get something started. And because you've done it, they want to talk to you. So that's it for the podcast today. I'm glad you listened to it. I gave you some reasons to start a podcast. I told you what the expectations are, how to record it, where to post it, issues you're going to face. See, I just did that to you. See, I just did that on the outro. Like the intro, I came in, I just told you what my table of contents was. Then I went through the table of contents. And then on the outro, I told you what I told you. It's just like writing a paper in the 9th grade, but you're just talking on video. So anyways, get in touch with me on my website, jeremycallahan.com. There is a contact form. You can schedule a 15-minute call with me. If there's anything you want to discuss, whether it's app development, web development, content marketing, blog, starting a podcast, starting a blog. I've done it all. I'm here to help you. jeremycallahan.com. And thank you very much for listening to the podcast today.